She reaches for her phone. You're faster. You grab her wrist. She screams, but you cover her mouth. You tell her you're sorry, and you mean it. Level 1. The Powerless. You're 16 years old, and you're watching through the car window. Your father is walking back from the grocery store. He does this every night. Same route, same time, same plastic bag with the same groceries. But then, two men step out from a doorway. One of them has a knife. The other has his hand out. Your father looks at his wallet, but he refuses to give it to the men. They go to grab it, but he doesn't let go. That is the last decision he ever makes. The experience changes you forever. You grow up with one goal: to never be powerless again. Level 2. The Failure. You're 20. 4 years have passed since your father died. You're working at a dead-end job at McDonald's. You have a useless university degree, $100,000 in student debt, and a crushing feeling that you're wasting your life away. A woman in a suit sits across from you at a coffee shop. She slides a card across the table. No title, just a phone number. She asks if you've ever thought about doing something that actually matters. You call the number that night. 3 days later, you're on a plane to Washington. Your life is going to change forever. Level 3. The Breaking. Training is nothing like you imagined. They don't teach you to wait. They teach you to act first, to shoot first, and kill first. They lock you in a room for 4 days with no sleep, no food, and 2 men who take turns screaming your fake name at you until you forget your real one. They follow you home. They send an agent to sleep with your girlfriend to test whether you'll talk. But you don't. You keep your mouth shut even when you wake up screaming in the middle of the night. You pass, but you wish you failed. You are now officially a member of the CIA. Now the real challenge begins. Level 4. The Waterboarding. Germany. Your first real assignment. There's an Iranian diplomat who has access to nuclear weapons documents. Your job is to get close to him, to make him trust you. You spend 3 months becoming his best friend. You eat dinner with him twice a week. You meet his wife. His daughter draws you a picture. You hang it on your wall. Then the order comes. You take him to a private meeting that you told him was a business dinner. He walks in smiling. 2 men are waiting in the next room. You watch them zip tie his hands to a chair. You watch them beat him. You stand there as he is tilted back and waterboarded for hours. He vomits and screams your name. He begs you to help him. You stand with your back against the wall and your hands in your pockets, and you do not move. After 6 hours, he tells you everything. The locations of the documents, the names of his contacts, the entire network. You get the nuclear information you were looking for, but you never find out what happened after you left the room. You fly back to Washington. Your girlfriend Sarah is waiting at your apartment with wine and takeout. She asks how it went. You tell her it went fine. You don't tell her that you can still hear him screaming. Level 5. The Murderer. Syria. You spend 31 days watching a man. His morning routine, his route to work, the way he takes his coffee, the names of his children. You report everything to your boss. One day, you suddenly get a message. Take out the target. You plant the device under his vehicle at 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. The street is empty. The next morning, you're parked 2 blocks away. He gets in the car. You wait until he pulls out onto the main road. You press the button. The blast takes out half the block. When the smoke clears, there are 10 people on the ground who were not him. Their names are printed in a local newspaper the next morning. You cut the article out. You fold it carefully. You keep it in your wallet. You've become a monster. When you return home, Sarah notices you're quieter than usual. She holds your hand. She tells you it's okay. She tells you that you're doing the right thing. She doesn't know that you are a cold-blooded killer. Level 6. The Spy. Someone inside the agency is feeding your operation to enemy intelligence. Your friends are going dark, one by one. A man you recruited in Ankara is found in a river with his throat cut. A woman you trained in Cairo is butchered in the street. The leak must be someone you work with every day. Someone who knows your face, your cover, your routes. You don't know who. You start sleeping with your gun under your pillow. You stop trusting anyone. Your entire team is wiped out. You are the last man standing. You are next. Level 7. The Fight. They find you. You're being followed. You see the same woman 3 times in 2 days. You see the same black sedan in your rear view mirror for 12 miles. A cafe in the morning, behind you on your evening run. She's getting closer. You know what this is. You're in a hotel room in Istanbul when the door comes off its hinges. Chinese intelligence. She barges in with a Makarov pistol pointed at your chest. She's shouting at you. You don't understand the words, but you understand what comes next. You have 1 second to decide. You dive to the side. The first shot misses. You grab her wrist. You slam it against the doorframe. The gun falls. She's strong. She's trained. She drives her knee into your ribs. You hear something crack. You wrap your arm around her throat from behind, and you squeeze. She claws at your face. You squeeze harder. She goes limp. You don't let go. There's blood on your shirt. You don't know if it's yours or hers. You grab your bag and get out of the country in 2 hours. Level 8. The Betrayal. You connected the dots. You know who betrayed you and your colleagues to the Chinese. Your boss. The woman who recruited you. The first handler you ever had. The woman who pulled you out of that coffee shop and made you who you are. She's been working against you for 2 years. Every close call, every dead friend, every leak, it traces back to her. The evidence is undeniable. You take the evidence to the director of the CIA himself. He looks at it and tells you to handle it personally. You meet her at a cabin in West Virginia. She knows why you're there. She doesn't run. She pours you a drink. She tells you she's sorry. She tells you the Chinese have her daughter. She tells you that she had no choice. But you tell her that you don't either. Before she can withdraw her weapon, you put 2 bullets in her chest. You sit with the body of your mentor for an hour. Sarah picks you up at the airport. She doesn't ask questions. She just holds you. You wonder if she can feel just how devastated you are. Level 9. The Coup. You've been promoted to the Senior Operations Officer in the CIA, and your most important mission yet gets assigned to you. An American presidential candidate is dangerous. He's cutting funding to your biggest allies. He's reducing the CIA's budget by 40%. He's threatening to disrupt the power of the CIA forever. You've spent 20 years building those programs. You cannot allow this to happen. You spend 8 months operating at home in your own country. You fund opposition groups through non-profit organizations. You bribe congressmen with offshore accounts. You organize riots in 3 major cities. On the day of the election, you're calm. The polls show he'll lose, but as the results start coming in, you realize that you're in trouble. He's winning. Swing states are flipping red. You have 4 hours before the networks call it. You have 1 option left, so you make the call and give the order. You authorize the unthinkable, a domestic operation. If he takes office, everything you've built collapses. The polls close. You wait. Then the news breaks. The candidate has survived an attack. He is alive. The results are out and he has won the election in a landslide. You watch it on TV from your office. Your hands are shaking. Sarah is at home. She texts you. "Are you okay?" You don't respond. You know what must be done. Level 10. The Motorcade. Dallas, November. You're on a rooftop 600 yards from the Dealey Plaza. You're not supposed to be here. This operation doesn't exist. The rifle in your hands is untraceable. The scope, calibrated. You've practiced this shot 200 times on a ranch in Virginia. The motorcade is approaching. You see the car. You can see him waving. You can see his wife beside him. Your finger is on the trigger. You're not thinking about politics. You're not thinking about history. You're thinking about where your bullet is going to hit. You exhale. You squeeze. The first shot hits. The car speeds up. You fire again. You see the second impact through the scope. You see his wife trying to climb out of the car. You pack up your rifle. You're out of the building in 90 seconds. You're on a plane to Mexico in 3 hours. You're back in Washington by Monday. Nobody says a word, and you get a promotion. You're now the deputy director of the CIA. Sarah asks you where you were all weekend. You tell her it's classified. She smiles. She says she understands. Sarah always understands. Level 11. The Pressure. A journalist in New York has your real name, not your cover, your actual name, your passport photo, and a list of people you've killed. She's going to publish everything in 72 hours. You fly to New York and you sit across from her at a diner in Brooklyn, and you tell her clearly and without emotion what will happen to the people she loves if she publishes. You're not bluffing, and she knows it. She looks at you like you're a monster, but she tells you she's publishing anyway. She tells you the American people deserve to know. You leave the diner. You make a call. You tell the head of the CIA that she won't stop. He tells you to handle it personally. Level 12, the elimination. Day 1. Her tires are slashed outside her apartment. She takes the subway. Day 2, her parents slip on their stairs. Both hospitalized, broken hips, fractured wrists. She visits them. She cries, but she keeps writing. Day 3, her husband's car is hit by a drunk driver on the highway. He survives, barely. He's in the ICU. She sits by his bedside, but she keeps writing. And you're watching all of it. You're reading her drafts. She's not stopping. If anything, she's writing faster, and the drafts are getting better. She's ready to sacrifice everything to expose you. You have 2 hours until she sends it to her editor. It's now or never. You break into her apartment at 2 in the morning. She's awake. She's at her laptop, and she sees you. She reaches for her phone. You're faster. You grab her wrist. She screams, but you cover her mouth. You tell her you're sorry, and you mean it. You wrap your hands around her. She fights. She scratches your face. She tries to bite. You don't let go. It takes 4 minutes. You make it look like she ended her own life. You delete her drafts. You wipe her hard drive, and you leave through the fire escape. The story dies with her. You fly back to Washington. You go home, but it doesn't feel like it. You know you've become a monster. You've known for years, but you don't stop. Level 13, the throne. You've spent years operating in Syria. You've laid the groundwork for something big. The country is finally holding its election. Your candidate, a man you identified, funded, and protected, wins by a landslide thanks to all your manipulation. You own him. You own the president. You own an entire country. Then he calls you. He tells you the presidency is lonely. He tells you the country needs someone besides him who understands how the world really works. He tells you there's a role waiting, a formal one. You will become the vice president. You'll be formally leading the country. You accept. You're sworn in. The crowd cheers. There are cameras everywhere. You give a speech about your plans for democracy, sovereignty, and the future of the nation. Every word of it, something you've been working on for years now. You smile for the cameras. You've been doing this your whole life. Sarah stands beside you. She's wearing a white dress. She looks perfect. She says she's happy for you. She pours you a drink to celebrate. You taste it, and it tastes a bit bitter. You don't think anything of it. But 10 minutes later, your vision blurs. Your chest tightens. You can't breathe. You fall to the ground. Sarah kneels beside you. She's not crying anymore. She's calm. Relaxed even. She strokes your hair. She whispers in your ear. She tells you she's been with the Russians for 12 years now. She tells you every secret you ever told her went straight to Moscow. Every name, every location, every operation. She tells you they needed you to get to the top. They needed you to become the vice president. Now that you have, you're no longer useful. You try to speak. You can't. Your lungs are shutting down. She kisses you on the forehead and she tells you, this isn't personal.